Markets are unpredictable, volatile, complex, but your trading journey doesn't have to be. Hola Prime TV is now live. Every trading day, join top coaches as they break down real-time setups, key levels, live trades across Forex, futures, and crypto. From Tokyo's early momentum, to London's open surge, to New York's high volatility action. We decode every move live. Get sharp analysis, clear strategies, and insights that actually make sense. And yeah, we don't just break down charts, we crack a few smiles too. Only on Hola Prime TV. This is more than content. This is infotainment and beyond.
Well, welcome back, Quiet Markets. Let's get you all caught up on the whirlwind of activity from the day and set the stage for what's coming up. It was a classic case of buy the rumor, sell the news, with the side of, wait, what did he just say? Thanks to our friends at the Federal Reserve. The main event was, of course, the Fed's decision. After 9 long months of waiting and enough speculation to make your head spin, the Fed finally pulled the trigger and delivered a widely anticipated quarter-point rate cut. It was like waiting for a kettle to boil. And when it finally whistled, everyone just said, yep, there it is. The official range now sits at 4% to 4.25%, but the real drama was in the details. The accompanying dot plot signaled that policymakers are penciling in 2 more cuts before we ring in the new year, which initially sent the U.S. dollar index plunging to its lowest level since early 2022. It was a beautiful moment for dollar bears everywhere, but then Fed Chair Jerome Powell took to the podium and then what's becoming a tradition, decided to gently tap the brakes on the euphoria. He was quick to point out that these cuts aren't on a predetermined path and that every decision from here on out is strictly data dependent. He even called this a risk management cut, which is Fed speak for, we're a little worried about the jobs market, but let's not get carried away. His comments were enough to give the dollar a life raft, helping it claw back a significant portion of its losses. It was a roller coaster that ultimately left the dollar index looking a bit bruised, but not broken. Unsurprisingly, this Fed-fueled volatility sent shockwaves across the currency board. The Euro-USD pair, which had been strutting its stuff at new yearly highs above the 1.19 level, got a reality check and shed about 0.5%. It seems even the euro couldn't ignore a slightly less dovish than hoped for Fed. Over in the UK, the pound briefly touched an 11-week high before getting dragged back down by the dollar's rebound, leaving it spinning its wheels around the 1.365 level. And the land of the rising sun saw the USD JPY pair do a fascinating little dance, flirting with 6-week lows near 146 handle. And that was, of course, before the post-Powell dollar strength lifted it back towards 147. It's like the pair tried to break free, but got pulled right back on its leash. Now let's talk about the Antipodians, because, they've got their own drama unfolding. The Australian dollar was a star performer early on, hitting a fresh 2025 high just a hair below the 0.67 mark. But the Fed decision, as well as Powell's cautious tone, took the wind right out of its sails, sending it tumbling down 0.5%. All eyes are now squarely on the Australian employment report set for release later today, and expectations are for a gain of 22,000 jobs, with the unemployment rate holding steady at 4.2%. A strong number could give the Aussie a reason to party again, while a miss might have it crying into a Foster's beer. Meanwhile, its neighbor, the Kiwi, is having a much rougher morning. New Zealand released their GDP data as well. It wasn't that great, to be honest. The economy contracted by a shocking 0.9% in the second quarter, which is a far cry from the modest 0.3% decline that economists were predicting. And unsurprisingly, the new NZD-USD currency pair is feeling the heat and is down sharply because apparently the economy decided to take an unplanned vacation. And not even the shiny stuff was immune to the Fed's power. Gold, which had been on an absolute tear and even hit a new record above $3,700 this week, decided to take a breather. A stronger dollar and a slightly more cautious Fed are like kryptonite for the yellow metal, even if the long-term outlook remains blindingly bright. And in the oil pits, black gold also reversed course, with WTI briefly dipping below the $64 per barrel level as traders reassess demand prospects amidst all this global economic uncertainty. It seems even crude was caught in the sell the news aftermath. So what's on the docket for today to keep this party going? Well, it's another busy one. We do have a whole squad of ECB speakers, including President Lagarde, to parse through. And we'll get the latest U.S. weekly jobless claims data, which will be scrutinized for any further signs of the labor market softening that Powell had mentioned. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, as well as the CB Leading Index, are also on tap. And let's not forget that the Bank of England has its own rate decision. They're widely expected to hold rates steady, basically saying, well, just watch the Fed do its thing for a bit. Thanks. So buckle up, folks. Market might be called quiet, but the action certainly is not over just yet. And with that, last thing, economic calendar for Thursday, the 18th. Again, we will be having the GBP rate decision. They're expected to keep rates the same at 4%. That's at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, the normal 8:30 weekly unemployment claims will be coming in. Looks like they're projecting about 22,000 less jobs, less unemployment claims, I should say. Let me clarify that. And then later on, sometime during the day, we'll have Japanese rate statement as well. They're projected to keep theirs the same at 0.5%, followed by their monetary policy statement. And that looks it. That's pretty well on the all we got on the docket today as far as red folder events. So with that, let's get to quiet markets and check out a few charts. Back to you guys.
And we're
Well, howdy,
back.
howdy.
Quiet markets.
We are back. Quiet after the storm.
How you doing? Yes, I know. It's such a storm over here. It was a very, very rough day. Did you end up in the green? That is the big question.
Nope. Did not. I salvaged a little bit of I salvaged a little bit of my nonsense during Forex fire. Got into a gold trade right at the very end. Coach Richard actually pointed it out. And of course, he uses market geometry. And I got to looking at that same point, and it had dropped into a demand zone. I thought, well, you know what? It hasn't been the greatest so far. And obviously, that's before the decisions come out, the rate decisions. So I hopped aboard it and just, turned into a scalp trader real quick. I mean, I pretty well rode it up, got about $273, I think it was. So it made my day less bad. And then as soon as I did that, I stepped the heck away from the computer and went to sleep.
Yep. That's kind of the best plan or the best case scenario that you could have hoped for. For me, it was, it wasn't, looking back, it wasn't a terribly choppy morning, which is I usually trade the morning session on the NASDAQ. So what happened? I really think, I got into trades for certain reasons and just kept on getting stopped out. I mean, the market was really ill behaved. It really didn't come down to my trading strategy. I mean, I didn't FOMO into trades. I didn't, double down on losers or really try to let losers run. I mean, I was up, I was in the green for majority of the morning, and then I just started to get stopped out into a loss. So it was kind of a ridiculous day. And then of course FOMC comes out and things are dislocated all around. It was definitely a scalper's market to say the least.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I tried to get into a handful of trades in the during the London session, and price just wasn't behaving very good. I mean, it was not respecting my supply and demand zones whatsoever. So that just and I had gotten into a handful, and all of them obviously with low risk. So wasn't trying to make a whole lot of money today, but just basically put some skin in the game, and just to feel the pulse of it, and the pulse just it was all over the place. Like
wasn't there, right? It wasn't strong or something.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. So it wasn't a good day for the supply and demand trading. That's for sure. Until that very last trade, which kind of salvaged me, pretty well salvaged me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then, I mean, are you actually online trading when the FOMC is coming out?
No. I was dreaming.
Yeah,
I was dreaming at that point.
Good.
Well, I had set my alarm. To get up because I went to bed early, like within an hour after I finished the session this morning. And I set my alarm to wake up about 15 minutes before, but I just slept right through it. It's probably a good thing I did.
It is the best thing, honestly. Honestly, you can't change anything, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. The only thing that it's going to keep you away from doing is losing money, right? So
exactly.
That's for the best. That's for the best. Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, nothing terrible. Like it wasn't an account blowing up or an account losing day, but still, it was a red day. And going into it, I just wanted to end up a little bit in the green, maybe a couple $100. But turns out it wasn't the case. So you live to fight another day, right? I mean, you're not gonna make your entire week or your entire year, your entire month today. And if you do, then I'd really question the trading strategy that you employed during an FOMC event. So. Again,
well, that's exactly.
It is what it is.
Well, that's exactly what I warned about this morning. I said there's going to be a lot of people blowing their accounts today. There's going to be a lot of people making a lot of money today, and that I would much rather be the one blowing an account or losing money today than winning, because you're going to think that that's repeatable. And the next Fed decision is going to roll around, and you're going to do the same thing and probably blow your account in, right? So. You might as well learn the lesson the hard way right away, rather than trying to bet all on.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think about that today, kind of just looking at the price action that went on, from the actual release of the white paper that comes out, and then all throughout the press conference that ensued after, and it's just like I don't even know how you would trade it. I really don't, unless you were taking a step back. And like if the NASDAQ's really dumping into some sort of demand zone and you're just buying contracts like hand over fist, then sure. But respecting levels, nope. Wicks, massive. Like you just I don't even know how you can make any money for like a good hour and a half, from 2 p.m. onward. It's just so odd to me. So.
Yep.
Again, it is what it is. I mean, there's really no translation through like what happened and then what can happen the next time, right? Because everybody's wondering, okay, 25 basis point cut, and I guess the door is open for what 50 basis points more potentially throughout the end of the year. But then he gets into the press conference and he's like, well, like the labor market's like really not doing well, and it's definitely on our radar. It's something that we're taking care and looking at. And I don't know, the market sells off, the market goes up, and now it looks like we're just up and to the right. But who knows? I mean, I think that there is some sort of statistic to be had on whatever, if you finish up on the FOMC day, then like what are the odds that the market just goes south the next day, right?
Yeah,
There must be some sort of
exactly.
statistic on it. So who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. Much like the difference between Asia, London, and New York session. You
True.
get the basing in Asia. You get up or down on London, and then U.S. kind of reverses things. We could be seeing that
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
day to day here for the next couple 3 days. Who knows? Trading days.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I know. I hope that it doesn't just chop around. I do hope that it's kind of just up and to the right. I was going to, I mean, again, when we start actually looking at stuff, one of the main things is obviously the economic calendar. And I mean, apart from today, it seems like it's kind of just status quo, right? Some jobless claims occasionally. I mean, Friday
Mhm.
doesn't have anything for red folder news. And then
Right.
it seems as though even like next Monday, Monday, Tuesday, nothing really going on. Some Richmond Fed manufacturing index,
Mhm.
10 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, the 23rd. So yeah, I mean, this was it seemed. And it seems as though it was
Yeah,
baked into the market, I guess.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's over because the way I see it, today's Wednesday. Well, still Wednesday here in the States. Obviously, good morning to you in
Yeah.
Asia.
Yeah.
Good Thursday morning, but
Hmm.
the way I see it, I'm just gonna even with Forex fire in the morning, I'm just gonna be very hesitant and just let a good 24 hours of price action just do its thing. I need more information for me to hop on a trend. But
Sure.
after that, I'm feeling pretty good about getting back into my trading style because at that point, like you said, we've got pretty much everything baked in at this point. Let's just kind of have the
Yeah.
volatility calm down, the volume calm down, and this is what I
Yeah.
like. Really, the
Yep.
aftermath of the storm, if you will. That's where I love the most, hopping into zone
100%.
trends and making sure I'm buying low on the curve, selling high on the curve, that kind of thing. So
Yep. Yep.
I'm as exciting as this week was just from all the pomp and circumstance and noise. I'm actually more excited for next week's trading action
Yeah, sure.
after it kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
simmers down somewhat by the end of the week. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
100%. Absolutely.
but but yeah, that was definitely some interesting news. I mean, we were going into this morning, but pre-release, thinking, oh, we got maybe one other cut coming up before the new year rings in, and now we're looking at two. I was just looking at the Fed tool here a little bit ago, the CME Fed Watch, and
Yep.
let's see here. Yeah, October 29th, there's already another 87% chance that we'll drop another 25 down to the 375, 400 range. And then you go out to December 10th, and it's 81% to drop another 25. So all that changed just since
Yep.
Jerome Powell flapped his lips today. So it's just interesting to see that. That's probably where all this volatility is coming because I think most people knew about the 25. Obviously, we had the
Sure.
4% chance of the 50-point cut this morning or afternoon, but
Yes. Yeah. I saw that. Yep.
market pretty well expected that. So, with all this
Sure.
volatility coming in now, it's like, is that from the addition of the other 25-point cut?
I don't
the
know. I
added
know.
on?
I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
kind of the
during the
questions
news
in
you
my
really
head.
hit. I know. I hear you. I think that you hit the nail on the head when you're just like, yeah, it's like a kettle starting to boil and it boiled, and it's like, yep, there it is. I mean, that's what everybody was waiting for. So, what else are you
Yep,
gonna say?
yep,
And yeah, I
yep.
mean, of course, there's always some sort of chop to be expected when these types of events
Mhm.
happen, and of course, like it's I don't want to say like landmark, but like it was kind of a landmark um, hearing or whatever you want to call it, because obviously it's the first cut that we've had since we've been in this like rate environment. So of course everyone was just waiting with bated breath to see what we were going to do, and it
Yeah,
happened. It is what it is. So
yeah, and
on to the next one, I guess. Just waiting for the next one.
well, Yeah, that's right. And everybody in chat, welcome. We do have a poll question out already. Gold above 3,700. What's next? We're going to get a breakout to 3,800. We're going to get a pullback to 3,600, or we're going to get some sideways chop, or is silver going to steal the spotlight? So let us know what you think on that. And hello
Silver
to
to
Noel
50.
Ray. Yeah. Hey, Anantha. Hello. Yeah, let us know your thoughts and questions on today. The fundamentals that came out, or what charts you might want us to look at. I mean, I'll be looking at everything now from a high time frame for the moment anyway. I mean, I do have a couple things I'm looking at on some smaller time frames, chiefly the highest bullish score I see on my top setups. But today for me is all about plotting and planning for the next week. So 4-hour demand zones, 1-hour demand zones, and supply. That's kind of where my focus is going to be. I'll feel better about trading smaller time frames after this. The rest of today's over, and probably by midday or later. Basically, I need 24 hours of price action to kind of run its course to, feel somewhat comfortable about going back down to some smaller time frame supply and demand zones. So we'll see how it works out. Yeah, it's funny because with my top setups I have on my Edge Finder, it's not even calculating everything. So I guess the market threw it for a loop even because, let me see. Oh, it's working again. Okay. Yeah, my top setups I always post up here or copy paste. It wasn't calculating everything. It had half of my assets saying null, whatever that means, N-U-L-L. Like,
yeah.
The algorithm's even confused.
Yeah.
But back end, if you don't mind, just throw my chart up real quick and we'll take a look now that it finally updated, just to see what some of the higher time frame setups are looking like. I actually want to copy and paste. I want to copy and paste the main top setups page too. So let me get that over here real quick. Yeah, I don't know why that was. It does that sometimes. I've noticed it does that. Like sometimes after a big report or NFP or something, it'll just be like, no.
Yeah.
Some of them will
waiting
show
for the data to pull in, I guess.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's the updated one. All right. After everything shook out over the last 6 hours or so, or 7 hours, I guess it's been 1 o'clock is when it was released here in Kansas. So Aussie New Zealand was already the top pair. I think it was a plus 11 prior to all the reports, but now it's a plus 13. So that's currently the strongest bullish pair that I'm looking at. And even a couple dollar pairs are up here now. Dollar CAD is up, dollar Swiss, which was in the neutral camp prior to this afternoon's reports. It's now up at a plus 7. We got some oil on there for any of you oil traders. We got a plus 6 on it, and the Dow Jones. So I haven't had, let's see, for the previous 3.5 weeks, all of the U.S. indices, the Nikkei, the DAX, everything that I tracked was all more of a neutral score. They were all hovering around 0 or plus 1 or minus 1. But 2 days ago, we had the NASDAQ that actually popped on as a plus 5 for a day, and then it fell off. But now it looks like we got the Dow up there as a plus 5. So as far as, a little bit more longer term type of a buy. So,
yeah.
And then gold's still hanging on for dear life. It's a plus 6. Silver, I think, is kind of neutral at the moment. But all the Aussie pairs, I think, are still on here for buys because Aussie is one of the stronger currencies right now in terms of exceeding expectations on the economic calendar for a combination of all the reports. And then the same thing for all the base currencies, where it's the base currency, it's on the buy side, and obviously the quote currency side, it's all on sells. But common theme is pretty much still the same for me right now. Buy the Aussie dollar, try to buy gold if it'll ever give me a pullback, and then I haven't even looked at to see is crude inventory. Is that today or tomorrow? I think it's today. I might have to look.
That is actually it's today. It was today, right? Yes, it was. I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Let's see what that
Wednesday.
was because I didn't. I always forget it's a yellow folder on Forex Factory. Wednesday. What did crude do? Okay, so they actually dramatically decreased inventories, which obviously would spike the price. So that's part of the reason it's on my list now. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be seeing if I can't find a spot to buy oil. I think I had an alert hit from it just a little bit ago, but again, I'm just a little edgy at the moment about trying to get into some of these trades. But
For sure.
let's see here. So that's that. And then just as a recap, the dollar itself I think it changed a little bit since last night's quiet markets, but it's now a 33% rating, meaning it's only, well, it's not doing that great. Obviously, the inflation and the jobs numbers have all missed expectations. Part of the reason, obviously, that we got the 25-point cut today. But the growth metrics are actually pretty decent. We did have yesterday the retail sales number come out, which was a nice surprise. Forecasted 0.2, but we got a 0.6. So very nice bullish number. And that was a welcome piece of news, Tony, because the last piece of positive news we had, the U.S. front, was September 4th services PMI number, which came in, further expansion range. So other than that, between that time, you had all these ugly releases down here, which a couple of them were neutral, and all the jobs data was just super bearish. So, yeah, you add all that together, 33%, but that's only being helped by the growth numbers. It's for the dollar, it could be getting worse before it gets better. We had the discussion this morning that the dollar, you've heard a lot of people say death of the dollar, it's going to hell, this and that. It's just, straight downtrend since, get out of my way. Straight downtrend since, basically since Trump took office. But that's typical because, typically you see it. When Republicans are in office, the dollar goes down, the stock market goes up. And then when the Democrats are in, the dollar goes up and the stocks go down. Kind of was a little different with Biden because you kind of have stocks going up, but who knows how much of that was residue. So not really a surprise there. But, yeah, then you look at it in the scheme of a monthly time frame. What? Dollar doesn't look bad. It's just a pullback, right? Just a little bit of a pullback. We start dropping below the 90 range. Yeah, exactly. Dropped right into a monthly demand. So, it's not really, it looks ugly in the near term, but you got to look at these things in the grand scheme of things. I mean, since the 2008, pretty much the 2008 crash, it's just been steady uptrend. Right? But yeah, you know how people are. Everybody's looking at everything on a hour time frame, 5-minute time frame, that kind of thing. So yeah, it looks pretty scary when you look at it like that. So, but yeah, I mean, just got this beautiful bullish engulfing candle, but we could, I don't know. I mean, it just is what it is at this point. We just look at price action right in front of us and trade it, right? Don't worry about the future.
Yeah.
Just let the future work its way out. We trade for today, right? Unless you're a long-term position trader or a banker or an institution, just worry about what's in front of you after it kind of simmers down, obviously.
Sure. 100%. No, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, it is tough. It's devaluing of the dollar, but I mean, if you're owning dollars or if you live in the United States, then go out and buy some gold, right? Keep on pushing the price higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what we can do there.
Yeah, if I could just get some pullbacks. I got so many drawings on here, it's ridiculous. I need to clean this up, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, as far as frames. Yeah, I need to, and plus I color coordinate things, light green, dark green, depending on if I like the zone or not. So, but yeah, it looks ugly on a higher time frame. But yeah, I mean, gold giving me, like I said, a +6. I've been trying to find a place to enter. Like I said, I did luck out this morning and kind of catch that little bit of a runner. We kind of had that. Let's see, where did I? Yeah, I think I bought in right here. So I basically, and this is just luck. This could be more luck than anything, but it was this little 1 minute demand I bought, and it just hit perfectly. I mean, you kind of had this fanning out action like this. And this time when it fanned down, it hit that little demand. So I latched onto it and I stayed up for about an hour through all this. And I think I finally got out right around, I don't know, somewhere over here, somewhere up here. So yeah, about 273 bucks. It was probably a little bit annoyance because I'd already messed up pretty good in the Forex fire. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to call that skill. I just want to call that luck. I mean, yeah, I did hit a 1 minute demand for whatever credence you want to put into that, right? Pretty efficient market with all these candles overlapping each other. And that just happened to be the first one I saw with this little gap. So just latched on and lucked out. Made for a lucky way to finish my day. As soon as I closed it out, I went to sleep. Said, I'm done.
Yeah.
But
that's exactly what you want, right?
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it kind of touched this more recent 4-hour demand. But again, I really want a deeper discount. I mean, this yellow box is a daily demand with a smaller demand and a 4-hour demand inside of it. And this one actually had a little bit of a gap as well coming out of it. So I feel like that would be a good price point with some pretty good volume underneath. So that's ultimately my favorite spot. But yeah, and I haven't even played with this since the Fed decision. So I'm actually going to avoid that top one and just come down. I'm going to put that alert there. I'm going to see what happens when price hits this alert. But unless I get some serious bullish engulfing candle, I'm just going to let it go. But I still want to keep an eye on it. Now, this one I feel pretty good about putting a normal position on just because it's giving me the confluence, the daily and the 4-hour with the gap, with the volume. I like that. So that's about the best I got right now. Gold. It's just to come down here, try to buy up. Now, that's obviously if it gives me the discount. Of course, gold has been parabolic and not doing a whole lot of pullbacks. I think I got lucky on one really small time frame pullback, but every time price moves up, it's just making the new highs and you're buying at the high end of the curve. So it's kind of breaking that rule, right? So, at least this way I'd be waiting for a discount. So, but that's probably the best I got. My alert's at 36 or 35.60 basically. So if it'll give me a discount down there, then yeah, that's where I'm interested in buying gold. Unless I get some type of serious 2x, 3x volume candle here relative to the previous candles with a bullish engulfing or something. Because I was looking at this one for a while too, but yeah, I'm just gonna let that one go. Let it go, my friend. I think that's what I'm
Can't
gonna
let
do.
it go. Come on.
Oh, don't talk me into it, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Look at it. I
There's
mean,
always someone that's
it
going to
had
be
a
the
nice.
devil on your shoulder.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I like this zone initially. Pretty decent volume, little gap, confluence of time frames. So I don't know. Maybe I should just put an alert there. I'm definitely not going to buy it at the top. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'll just see what it does when it hits. Inquiring minds must know what happens. So if we get a bullish engulfing there, I might take a small stab at it just to get some skin in the game. Hell, I bought worse quality trades this morning. What's that one? With some confluence.
I know. You just got to have a reason to get in, right?
Yeah. 3 whole alerts on gold now. So, all right. And then, silver, it's doing its thing as well. Yeah, I mean, it did bounce into this demand, which I didn't. So I colored this demand zone light green because to me, it was too choppy to the left. It was just full of everybody getting chopped to pieces over here at one point. So I colored it light green just to say, hey, let's see what it does. And of course, it looks like it obviously dropped in and had some pretty good rejections out of it. So I'm going to laugh if it's the one that actually wins out. But yeah, at this point, this zone up here is old news. So I'll delete that. And I think that white line, I drew that up because I think that was the beginning of a 15-minute candle, if I remember right. It was actually smaller. 10 minutes. I guess it was a 5-minute. Let's see why I drew that. I put that there for a reason.
Yeah, you'll think about it.
Yeah, I don't remember what I did there. I don't remember why I drew the white
It
line.
looked like it was like the top or the bottom of that candle, the larger candle.
That was
what time was that?
8:38. Well, 8:30 Central on September 11th.
Yeah.
Was that one?
Hmm.
Alerts coming in. Aussie New Zealand. This is my 13 score. So we got a fat jump here about 3 hours, 4 hours. Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Wow.
And we got a big fat jump on it. So just kind of looking at some zone opportunities here, just getting away from the dollar for a minute. Now, obviously, gold is, has a bearing on Aussie. Okay, so I was looking at that. Of course, we're high on the curve up here, so potentially getting a retracement down to one of these areas is what I was looking at earlier. It's just all skinny. They're all skinny. All right, that one's no good.
Wow, that wick.
Yeah.
Oh, that was early.
And this is also New Zealand, which is a fairly slow moving pair. That moves about 42 pips a day, 42 ATR.
Wow.
So, but it's looks like it's currently bouncing off of this area. Okay. All right. Well, if you look at this on a 5-minute, a little bit of a gap. I mean, that's technically a demand because you do have a little bit of a gap coming out from here to here. But yeah, I didn't really feel too good about that one. I'm just going to let it go. And of course, Hola ends up being the one that would have made some money. Refine this.
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. Okay, efficient market. So if you're looking at a 1-minute time frame, then this is basically the 1-minute demand. Yeah, I thought about that candle too. You got liquidity, a little bit of liquidity under here from where these people bought for their stop losses. Yeah, I probably should have taken. Oh, wait, did I put a limit order on that on my other broker? I thought I put a limit order on that spot. I'm just looking off screen on my other brokerage account real quick. Aussie, New Zealand. Oh, no, I have a pending limit a little lower. Oh, I put a pending limit down here earlier because, yeah, I right about this point where I went and took a shower, so I didn't even see all this shaping up.
Oh, perfect level.
I know it. Yeah, so here's my pending limit on my other broker, my other challenge account.
Yeah.
Of course,
a little ways away. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe.
Yeah, that one. Actually, here's where I put the order right here. I actually put it on that middle zone. But I do like this one probably a little better because it is the closest to the start of that move. I mean, obviously, this is the start of the overall move, the origin of it. The hell zone hit down here? Did I hit it? Was that another zone I missed? Oh, that was a 10-minute demand I drew up. Sure, you would hit zones. Look at that 10-minute zone there. Yeah, you would hit a zone. Of course, I was asleep at that time or just waking up. Yeah. I wasn't putting no limit orders on though while I'm sleeping, but you can see that one worked out perfectly. But that's also the beginning of Asia, close in New York. So I don't usually like to take trades in that time frame. It's just too wicky and obviously increased spreads and no volume. But yeah, sometimes they still work, as you can tell there. But yeah, even if I were sitting here right at that time, I still probably would have avoided that. So, but it's cool to see that the zone worked. Moral victory.
No, I know. And that's really what you need for the next time, right? Just to gain a little bit more confidence. Like, yeah, you know what? Next time I see it, okay, I got you. I
Yeah, and that's
understand.
what. Yeah, and that's exactly why I draw up a lot of zones that I know I'm not going to take because there's something that's breaking my rules if I take it or whatever the case is. But
Sure.
it's funny because I seem to get pleasantly surprised a lot more than, oh, it didn't work after all. So, it's just knowledge that I like to just stack in the back of my head so that we can see about potentially
100%.
maybe incorporating that in at some point.
Hopefully.
Yeah, good stuff. I wonder what did Australia just have happen? Through
I know. I was
said
going to say, where do
50.
you go for the
Oh, their
specific?
employment numbers.
Um, oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
5 minutes
their
ago.
employment change. Yeah. So employment change for Australia, they bombed on their employment change numbers. So well, first of all, their previous number was revised up, it looks like, to 26,000. They forecasted 21,000 today, but they had a minus 5.4 thousand. Let's copy and paste this. Yeah, so here we go. This was what just happened, and that's why we're getting that spike.
Mm-hmm.
So unemployment rate remained the same. Employment change numbers, that was just a huge miss in jobs. So yeah, your result, Aussie down, but it just kind of going all over the place at the moment. I mean, yeah, I say it bounced into the demand zone, but it's a red folder event, so it's not like I wanted to trade that anyway.
Sure.
Especially on a 1 minute demand zone that's only about 3 pips wide. I mean, get real, right? I'm not Nostradamus. I can't pick that.
I don't know. You could be. You could be the Hola Prime Nostradamus here.
Yeah, maybe I should have because it looks like it's wanting to work.
There-
I mean, as silly, small as this is, well, and realistically, I would have definitely put a stop loss on at least down to here, probably even cover this part. So that's still only 6 pips, but it's already jumped up 12, so it's already jumped up 2 to 1. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, I treat supply and demand like it's obviously if I had everything in my trading world stripped away and I had one thing I could use, no indicators, no oscillators, no nothing, it would just strictly be the price action for the supply and demand zones. But it's one of those things that, I feel confident that I can be doing the limit orders, but it's just one of those things, kind of like President Trump says all the time, trust but verify, right? So I trust my zones, but I still want to verify them. I still want to see those engulfing, reversal candles and the volume spikes and all that. Well, we clearly had that.
100%.
We had a big wick underneath. You had the volume that was like 4x the previous candles, four times. So, but that's all happening in that 1 minute time frame. Unless you're limit ordering or you got an algorithm, you're going to probably
how are you going to catch it, right?
Exactly. So, yeah. So really, it's limit orders is the only way to do it. But then, of course, your risk just wicking all the way through. So there's give and take. There's pros and cons to the trust but verify. There's pros and cons to just trust it, right, and just let it do its thing. So, well, good stuff. But yeah, I do have a limit order waiting down here. In fact, I'm going to put an alert there just so I remember just ahead of it. That way, I've got
don't want to miss it this time, right?
Yeah, but except now, because I have my limit order right on the proximal line, so I'm just going to put my alert a little bit ahead, just to give me some time to go back and decide. Now, do I want to leave that as a limit order? Because I think I put a stop loss down here, so I mean, I gave it about 6 pips of wiggle room as well, something like that. So,
sure,
yeah, well, good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, just to kind of recap, like what I've been thinking. I just want to see 24 hours of price action just kind of shake its way out, see which way some of these assets decide to trend, do their thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, even for us, it should be. It's one of those things that, like, Friday, hopefully Friday will be a good trading day for sure. And then
Yeah.
obviously, of course, into next week, we'll be watching a whole slew of different markets to kind of just see if there's any opportunities, right, that are arising anywhere really, even outside of some of the classic markets that we always trade. But yeah, I mean the market digestion, because the market just gets dislocated like so hard, either to the upside, to the downside, or just somewhere in the middle. And it seemed like, yeah, today was the kind of that somewhere in the middle type thing where it was just
Yeah.
such a whiplash, up, down. It didn't know if it wanted to just totally dump and, come off of those all time highs. And now we're just like back up. So we'll see what happens overnight and then into tomorrow, at least for the NASDAQ, for the
Yep.
indices.
Yeah. Yeah. And so far, it looks like 50% of you guys and gals in the chat think we're getting the move to 3,800 on gold. So, yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we see how parabolic it's been. We got a really nice pullback after the decision. So, did some of these zones? Yeah, literally, like the question is, did this 4 hour zone decide to be the catapult to push it back up? Well, we'll see. I just don't feel comfortable jumping into it right now. I mean, I do love the confluence. Like I said, I love the 15-minute demand that was inside of it with that little gap. So, if we could come down to there, then again, I'll still keep open minded. But it's hard to want to jump into a trade there when you see all this crap, all that junk, right? But it's a
It's
pretty
definitely hard.
decent. I mean, it's a okay amount of wiggle room. Buying at the proximal line here and give it some wiggle room at the bottom for the stop loss. So yeah, it's just this whole choppy area is what's throwing me off. But we'll see.
Yeah, I know. But then it's kind of one of those things where, again, like you said in the beginning, and how everybody watched right from the sidelines, that like we got what the market expected. 25 basis point rate cut. Okay, great. What trajectory were we on before that? And is that going to continue? So like, yeah, you look at some of the charts on the higher time frames, and it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, well, everything's dislocated now. I don't know if this level is going to matter anymore. I don't know. But it's also like you do have to ask yourself the question of, okay, so what really changed? Nothing? Okay, we kind of knew and hoped that we were going to get a 25 basis point cut. We got it. Okay, so now we have some sort of, continuation. So I guess, I could be proven wrong, that the previous levels that we identified in the days of the week prior are still going to be valid when they need to be valid, allegedly.
Yeah.
Barring something crazy doesn't happen to just, take everything out and give us a great reset.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that way, because that's exactly why I recognize that the interest rate decision is literally just one item.
Yeah.
It's just one item, right? Across the economic
to
data.
check the box.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm getting a zero, a neutral rating for all the for the dollar pairs, because well, most of the dollar pairs, because no, all the dollar pairs. I'm sorry, because we expected the 25. So that's the same thing as a non-farm payroll. We got what I say, 220 whatever thousand coming up. Tomorrow or whenever. Is that tomorrow? Yeah. If we hit 220,000 on tomorrow, the dot, that's the exact same thing. It meets expectations. It's not hot. It's not cold. So,
Sure.
So yeah, essentially, it met expectations today. We were expecting the 25. So, that's why I'm definitely going to rely on everything as a collective whole and see, oh, okay. Yeah, that was just one little piece of it. Yeah, it's scary in the moment, scary for the day, but at the end of the day, it's just one piece of the puzzle. So no, you're exactly right to say that way. Got to respect the zones, but the day of, hell no. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I say. Like, I just want to see 24 hours of price action shakeout, and then I'll trust my levels again, I guess is the best way to sum that up.
Yeah, I know. I just it is one of those things that it's just you just want to make sure that nothing crazy happens, right? And that again, like you said, like you can trust in those levels the next time that they, show to be needed or, need to be statistically significant. But yeah, 100%. No, I agree.
Yeah. Dollar
Oh, let's
CAD.
see.
You
It's
got
crazy that
anything?
the Dow
What?
just now is pointing to, like, I guess kind of a bullish rating. I thought it would
Yeah.
have showed up on your list a little earlier.
Yeah. No, not till today because it was like a 4. I think it was a 4 or a 3, something like that, the last couple of days. Because, like I said, Nasdaq was up there at a
Gotcha.
5, 6 for a couple of days. So just close
Yeah.
enough to where, yeah, it was. You could still call it bullish, right? But the algorithm is just a little picky. It just wants to see at least a +5 or higher.
Oh,
And I'm
100%.
even
Yeah.
pickier than the algorithm, to be honest with you, because I don't really like trading anything unless it's a 7 or an 8 or higher, right? So it's kind of an embarrassment of riches when you have all these, you have all these options. Well, easy, just go from the very highest score down or the very lowest score up if you're trying to short something. So,
For sure.
but yeah, it's at the end of the day, obviously we got 27, 28 currency pairs, got 5 or 6 indices I follow: Bitcoin, gold, silver. Um, it's still good to just narrow the list down to maybe the top 3 or 4 or 5 items rather than this whole list. I mean, this is actually the smallest this list has been in a week or so, a couple weeks. But even this is too many. I mean, it's I set alerts on everything, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I'm more partial to the higher scores. And not only that, there's something else I'm even more partial to than that is the ratio of where the scores are at. So what do I mean by that? Well,
Hmm.
if I go find this list, so this is the same list, just in a simplified version. So if I'm buying something that's giving me a bullish score, I want to see the combination of the COT report and the retail sentiment. I want to see a positive number there showing that, hey, the banks favored, in this case, the Aussie more than the New Zealand, or they increased their longs, maybe increased their
Mm-hmm.
shorts on the New Zealand. And then obviously I want to see the contrarian signal from, which I see here, meaning that the retail traders are net short. So Aussie, New Zealand
Yeah.
retail traders are net short, which is contrarian. So that's lovely. I love seeing a 3 because it basically gives +1 for increased Aussie, and it gives a +1 for the New Zealand being short or increased shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually a perfect
Sure.
score. And then you go to the technicals, it kind of looks at the daily time frame. Hey, did we beat? Do we have higher highs, higher lows of recent time frame? And then the economic score to have a big number like that. So this is what I don't want to see. So on dollar CAD, we have a -1 for sentiment. So somewhere along the way, either the retail traders are net long, which is not a contrarian signal, or the banks just decided to, favor the Canada dollar over the dollar. So that's what I don't want to see.
Hmm.
So this is how I even fine tune it even more. Like Aussie CAD, okay, that's a +1 for sentiment, +1 for technical. Not great, but you have a
Mm-hmm.
+7.
Mm-hmm.
You got a really good combination of fundamental analysis points. So yeah, I usually just kind of go down through this list, and if I see a minus number in there for a bullish item, then I tend to try to push that to the bottom of my list. And then the same thing is true in
Sure.
reverse. CAD yen got a -1, a -3, a -4. That's beautiful. So that makes it easy to short something and have full confidence in it. Other than the Euro Aussie, it's actually kind of going against the sentiment. It's given a +1. So you know, so as long as I can see all three, the sentiment analysis, the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis, as long as I got a positive for those three or a negative for all three, then that's the ones that
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
personally try to show favoritism towards. Um, yeah. So that's why Aussie New Zealand is obviously clearly my number one right now. And then dollar CAD, while it's a good high score overall because of the economic indicators, I would prefer the Aussie CAD because it's getting a little bit more favoritism from the sentiment, retail sentiment / COT report. The big banks,
Sure.
institutions, the ones that make all the money. Yeah, Aussie Swiss, I like that one. Yeah, so out of all this bullish list, that's basically just like a handful of them I really like. Aussie New Zealand,
Yeah.
Aussie CAD, oil, and Aussie dollar. So that's 4 items. And then down here on the opposite end,
Yeah.
CAD yen, and maybe pound Aussie. Well, pound Aussie. See, pound Aussie, even though it's giving me a -6, it's not really giving me any fundamental analysis benefit. Everything's just kind of neutral. But, this is where the technical trader would love trading it, right? For those that are just technical only traders, right? Pound Aussie, that's a good one, right? So, yeah, CAD yen, Aussie New Zealand, that's my top 2. I'm going to go look at CAD yen real quick.
Yeah.
Daily, 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour. Okay, so there's my 1 hour supply, which we're actually not far from.
Wow.
So this is what I'll be okay with in. So I got some confluence somewhere in a smaller time frame. So it looks like a 30-minute supply. Is that right? Yeah. So I got that 30-minute candle. And go break it down to 15. Let's see. Now, do I have some gaps? That's always my next question. Do I have any gaps? So looks like on a 15, I got one from here to here. So that's the gap I like to see, just to show strength. And I even get so anal, I'll even drop it down to the 10 and the 5 just to make sure. So let's find out on a 5-minute. And so, yeah, you see this is where it gets tricky because you look at it on a 5-minute, that whole zone is a pretty efficient market because you got all the candles overlapping, candles to the left and to the right. So, this is where I have to ask myself a question. Am I going to be that anal and not trade this because there's no inefficiency on the 5-minute or the 10-minute for that? Well, the 10-minute has a. Yeah, so here's the 10-minute gap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So just these little things I've gotten a lot more anal about, and I've definitely seen a difference. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt because you would like to just be like, oh, look, 1 hour supply, sell it. Right. But those other little nuances that they go a long ways because at the end of the day, the market chases inefficiencies. It really does. It chases those gaps down, and obviously the liquidity on the other side. So yeah, I'm comfortable with 15-minute. I'm good with that gap on a 15. I'm not going to get too anal on the 10 and the 5. So yeah, once we get up to here, I'm gonna be DTT, down to trade.
Down to trade, yeah. I was gonna say, what is it?
We'll keep it clean, right?
Yeah. Speaking of keeping it clean, last time we were on, did you go out and watch that YouTube video?
Which one was that?
The hide your kids, hide your wives.
Oh yeah. Sure did. Yep. I sure did.
I literally watched it after funny. I got a laugh out of it because we needed it that day.
Yeah. And I saw it featured somewhere else. I can't remember where I saw it, so I got an extra chuckle on top of it.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that's the thing, right? You start talking about something around your phone, and then it just starts popping up everywhere.
Yeah. See that with a stop loss, that'd be about 20-25 pip range. Might as well include this spot up here. And I wish that were a little closer because that's skewing the risk reward a little bit, unless I just want to trust the zone itself and give it a small handful of pips. That's 20 pips. That'd be about 28 pips if I include this high. You know what, Tiger? You trust your zone. You leave your stop above the zone itself. Trust the zone. Give it just a little bit of wiggle room, because that wiggle room has actually kept me in some trades lately and that turned into profits. I've historically been really bad about having way too tight of a stop loss, like this. But I started observing that. Damn it, I get that stopped out for a small loss, and then it goes my direction. So
Yeah,
I've
I
kind
know.
of
I
joined
know.
joined that crowd of
That was the name of my
annoyed.
game today.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Well,
it's
today
just like,
makes sense.
why did I even get into this trade? Yeah, yeah, I know. Of course, hindsight. Yeah, you shouldn't have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then as far as a take profit on this trade, probably look at this demand down here just to make sure I buy to cover ahead of that. Not get too greedy on it.
Sure.
Buy to cover just ahead of that. That would be the trade plan for that. Because last thing I want is price to bounce in and then take it the other way. Take away my unrealized profit. All right. There's my favorite short setup right there. Go back to my Aussie New Zealand real quick. All right, get that out of my way. Yeah, this one's higher time frame on this. Yeah, I mean, it probably won't get there, but this is obviously the higher probability when working, but it's probably not going to get back. I mean, I did draw up this
and
one
away.
in this area. Exactly. I drew this zone down here, but it was very, very lazy leaving. Of course, again, it is a slow moving market. At this point, we just wrap a rectangle around this for a return.
Yeah.
Which
Hope
again,
and pray. It's a bull flag. It's a bull flag. Buy
it. Yeah, I mean, about the best I see on the higher time frame, real close, would be 10-minute demand there.
Yeah.
But I do have some other really tiny 1 minute zones inside of it. So
yeah, yeah. I think you could get a good bounce. I mean, an okay bounce. If you played that, but you just got to be awake for it. It could happen overnight.
Yeah. Yep. 21:30. Yep. Well, that's definitely where I got my alarm. I already got my alert set above it. So yeah, I was originally looking at this thing on that on the 1 minute. So I'm just going to turn this into a zone on top of a zone and just combine it. Put a stop underneath here. So that will be long option number 1. Give us some more wiggle room, Tiger. There you go. All right. So I got a short trade set up, and I got a long trade set up. For the most bearish and most bullish Forex pairs.
Only the best pairs.
Only the best. That's it. Let's probably steer away from the rest of them. Of course you would. Of course you would work out 1 minute zone. Funny. That's just funny. Market likes to.
And for anybody watching, if anybody's out there in the chat, in the ether, please throw us some questions in the chat. We can take a look at anything. Be sure to subscribe to the video. That always helps. And share it with your friends, because quiet markets, they have been extremely quiet, the last week or two. Yeah, and of course, coming off of the Fed announcement, I think everyone's pretty much had it with the markets, so they're just kind of packing it in and waiting for tomorrow. So I don't expect much more. It looks like we're down to 2 watchers on the YouTube. I think one of them is me.
And me.
Yeah.
X is
let's
showing.
Pack it in. Let's go to the Daily Mail. We'll just start reading the Daily Mail headlines.
Yeah, X has a handful, so that's pretty good. But
yeah,
right on. So, did anybody else in your session end up in green? I didn't even.
Yeah. Actually, the P&Ls were kind of. I wasn't on today, but obviously I tune in every once in a while just to give everybody grief. Yeah. No, so yeah, I think the P&Ls were, it's kind of all over the place. I think a couple of people were up $130. Wow. Like, I mean,
Right.
at least you're in the green. It is one of those things, but yeah, at least for
Yep.
myself and then Coach Daryl, um, we were down, yeah, four figures. I mean, he was down 2 grand. I was down like 2,500 just on the day. Again, going through it, it's like I got a couple direct accounts, got two direct accounts. Trying not to lose one. One's actually getting really close to the drawdown. So I think tomorrow it's like make or break for that account. So we'll see.
Oh,
But still, still the payouts are coming, and we've gotten like four payouts so far. So
yeah.
you got to be
Yeah, that's
happy with
great.
what you get, and that's the thing is that like red days they're gonna happen, right? Everyone's human. Everyone takes losses, and especially like coming off of I had a crazy winning streak. It was like 3.5 weeks, almost a month. So to have
Yeah.
a red day or two, I mean, it's only natural. And like sometimes you got to remember that, and that's literally what I was
Yeah.
like feeling today. I was like, I shouldn't even have traded because again, like it's like, yeah, you're not going to make your week or your month today. And you're not going to
Yeah.
make, 5 grand today when if you're usually making $1,500 a day. And that's what I usually shoot for, $1,500 a day in each account. And yeah,
Mhm.
it does really well, obviously, that strategy. Um,
Yeah, and
so yeah,
that same thing is true. Like it's been true of me too, because like the last couple good weeks I've had, I've followed it up with
yeah,
not so good. Right. So that's currently where I'm at. Because
yeah,
I had my best week last week since being with the you know, since being with all our primes. So
yeah,
followed it up,
yeah.
had a couple
That's awesome. And
stupid
actually,
trades.
I think I was actually thinking about you and what you said to me. Was it last week or the week before that when you said like I'm like going back to the drawing board, going through, making
Yeah.
sure I'm checking all my boxes before I get into a trade. That was
Yeah.
me yesterday. Yesterday. And
Yep.
I was like, I did some trades. Like, I totally didn't check the box. I don't even know why I was doing them, honestly. Like, and that was the other thing is that I was flip flopping. I must have did like 30 trades, and that's way too many. Like what the heck? That's literally like 5 times the amount that I usually do. Um, so again, it was just one of those things where it's like sometimes you need someone to like tap you over the shoulder and be like, dude, are you even like what are you even looking at? Why are you even in this trade? Because you were doing the opposite. You were long before and you were losing money, so you just reversed. Um, so yeah, and it's tough. It's tough when it's
Yep.
like when it's like that, and you're like eyeballing losses, and you're like, dude, but like I make money, I make money. So like I have a red P&L. I'm trying to change that, right? And someone's got to just like punch you in the head and be like, no, why are you in this trade, idiot? you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
No.
that's
You're right.
that's
We
that's what
had.
I definitely got to do.
Yeah. Well, we had that talk. Yeah, it was last week because
Yeah.
that weekend right before that was when I kind of reevaluated everything. Now this weekend I did the same
Hmm.
thing, not to the extent I did the previous weekend, but um,
Sure.
yeah. So I did that. I had everything squared, and I had my best week. Well,
Yeah.
it was good, but it was also a little bad because a little bit of it went to my head because when I placed some trades on Tuesday morning, well, yesterday morning, I got
Hmm.
stubborn and I did not close them out before the retail sales numbers came out. So I chanced
Wow.
them,
Yeah. That's
right?
tough.
Played a
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my big headedness getting in my way from
Yeah.
my recent successes. Like, oh,
Let me ask you
you kind of
this
feel that
on that trade.
invincible feeling.
On that trade, did you get wicked or was
Two
it
of
just
them
it just moved against you? Really?
just straight up moved against me. Yeah, just straight up moved against me
Mm-hmm.
because the week before I
Hmm.
got lucky. I did the same thing prior to one of the other last week's reports. I think it was the
Hmm.
PPI report,
Yeah.
and yeah, September 10th. Yeah, so that would have been it was either that one or the CPI on Thursday. I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but yeah, I had trusted my analysis, and it worked to a T last week. So this week, I trusted my analysis. It did not work to a T. So yeah, I ended up getting into 2 losses with a regular risk. So yeah, that stacked up the bad week right away. So it hasn't wiped out the previous week's successes, but a big chunk of it. So
sure. Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I know. And then again, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's just part of the cycle, honestly, like where anyone's strategy, anyone that's in trading, it's like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I had a really good week. I mean, I feel like I had a really good week when you were having a really good week. So it's like maybe the market was just working, and then today I didn't have a great day. Yesterday I didn't have a great day. Nothing account blowing or anything like that, but they were just in the red, where my trades just weren't working out, I mean, see that, but that's the other thing. That's the other thing about trading is that it's not that my trades weren't working out, because if you pulled up a chart of the NASDAQ, it was just, in the morning, it was down, but yeah, there were a lot of wicks. There were a lot of just reversals to like the high of the previous candle, and then it moved down again. But does that mean that, my strategy and my trades are allegedly invalidated because I stayed within my risk to reward parameters, and I didn't move them? Like I didn't move my risk. Like you start moving your stop loss when it's like, it's getting right there. You move your stop loss, and then you lose double. Like you don't want that. So I don't know. I think it was a bad day. The market was ill behaved. If you're trading the indices, the market was pretty ill behaved. Then you just gotta, again, don't allow one day to wipe you out. Because tomorrow, Friday, next week, those days, they're going to come back where it's like, hey, yeah, you're moving and grooving again. Easy trades are coming. You're taking, all the good setups, and they work out, right? And you're back up to like 70% win rate, 80% win rate. So you just got to stick with it.
No, it's so easy. It's so easy to let one bad day ruin your attitude. And it happens to the best of us. I mean, I don't want to say it ruined the start of my week, but it was like just a little bit of disgust. We're on here,
of course, frustrating,
teaching and coaching, and then I go do the very thing that it's like, do as I say, not as I do. But we have to give ourselves grace, right?
Yeah,
give ourselves grace,
1,000%.
But it was also a good visual, because I even showed the losses on here just so people could see the big ugly red number. I think I full screened it. My 2 losses, I full screened it, so all you saw was just a big red number this morning. I said, don't let this be your trading day because of the rate release. Which was actually from the another report, but the same concept. So
sure, 100%. Yeah. No, I got it.
You're all got it. But Friday night, of course, like I said, I did some more studying up on my methods and everything, and I was actually applying it. I couldn't sleep Friday night into Saturday. I just tossed and turned because I was just thinking about what I had just learned. And so I got onto Bitcoin of all things to do, when you can't sleep in the middle of the night on a weekend.
Yeah. And
of course. So I did end up getting in and selling this supply zone right at 5 a.m. my time. I was just up late. And had a nice profit on it. I made $280. I mean, I was just a tiny bit of risk on it, but I was like, I did that and bought it to cover just ahead of this demand as a 1 hour demand. And I almost was going to buy it to go the other way, which might have worked about a 2-to-1, but I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to overstay my welcome. So finally I got tired after that. So, okay. I can sleep now. I can sleep.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's my first time ever buying anything on a Saturday. I've closed a Bitcoin trade out on a Saturday, but I was like, let's just go ahead and check this off the list. Maybe that'll help me sleep better. which is kind of comical. Kind of comical that they
100%.
got on. And
Yeah.
no, it's
That's
good
awesome.
stuff. Good stuff. You know, and part of some of the things I've been recently watching honestly kind of make me want to maybe even drop it down to just a smaller handful of items. Because with supply and demand, I mean, as long as you're going through all the time frames, you can pretty much paint a pretty good picture of what something's going to do. Now, it's a lot of work because it's a lot of different time frames, but that's something else I'm even playing around with. Outside of session hours is, should I just focus on a couple of these assets? Because that picture that I painted on this Bitcoin trade was just, I mean, everything was just crystal clear on it. Well, it's hard to do that with 28 pairs plus 6 indices plus Bitcoin plus gold plus silver, because that's all the items that I track. So I don't know. We talked about, for a brand new trader, hey, it's just a good idea. You just, at least initially, to focus on just one thing or two things, just to understand the behaviors and learn all the nuances, and then you can branch out at some point, especially a higher time frame trader like me, because, well, with that combination of 30 plus assets, assuming a 4-hour supply or demand zone, I'm lucky to get 1 or 2 good setups a week. That's just the way it works with the higher time frames. Because that's where my edge lies. I mean, I've gotten really pretty good at the 4 hours time frame. Obviously, coming down to the smaller time frames for the sake of showing more examples to the chat.
Of course,
has been fun. It's been exciting. It's been a lot of fun. But this just more noise, and it's just taking me a little bit more time to adjust to it. Right, the smaller time frames. So but it's a good challenge, and I love it.
Yeah, I know. Especially, well, you get to look at the market a little bit different, right? I mean, everybody's got their own trading strategy, but sometimes when you start to really drill down into things, I think that what everybody realizes is, oh my God, I do not want to be trading the 1 minute or the 3 minute or the 5 minute because the market is just disgusting. Especially on days like this where it's just like totally heightened, where it's like, ooh. Like I wouldn't even want to be winning in that position, because it was just so hard. Like you just had to wait and you had to be in agonizing pain for a majority of the trades that you were in just to get a minimal risk reward. It was just like, oh God, very, very tough.
Good. No, that's right. Yeah, and just taking a look here at a couple of my other top setups. Dollar Canada dollar, waiting for this retracement all the way down here if it decides to come down. 136.27. Kind of do have this other zone here I'm watching. Triple bottom. There's obviously going to be some liquidity under this area, so that in itself might be a good reason to keep a little closer eye on this little zone here. I think that was a 1 hour. I believe that was a 1 hour. 2 hour? I guess it was a 4 hour. I don't know. I have so many time frames, so many boxes. I got to a point to where, it is a 4 hour. Okay. I mean, I try to remember to identify everything, draw in there. Is this 4 hours? Is this a 1 hour? Is this a 15-minute? But I sometimes don't get it all done. But I mean, that's a pretty good zone. I forgot I did draw up that little gap. So, yeah, maybe I should just put that alert up here a little higher just to keep an eye on it. See what happens. We'll see what happens.
All the alerts. You're going to be getting all the alerts while you go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I need to actually get rid of some of these older ones that hit today still, but I think I'll just do that now, actually. Delete inactives. There we go. So I'm left with about 20. Looks like, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 17 alerts at the moment. Obviously, Aussie New Zealand is king ding-a-ling at the moment. And CAD Yen is my other one on the short end. About 15, 20 pips away from that one. Obviously we went over gold. Aussie CAD, I got an alert set down here. Aussie New Zealand CAD. Dollar CAD. Wait a minute. Now, why do
I
I
was going
have
to say,
them
have
already
we heard
set up
anything,
here?
any headlines out of Canada in like the last week? Anything crazy happening?
Well, their stuff's not looking the greatest. I mean, as bad as our info's looking, theirs is pretty horrendous too. Let's pull up their
Mm-hmm.
heat map. Actually, yeah. Let me do this.
Well, I mean, they're so
Well, pull
tied
up.
to the United States as well. Like they need us as much as, I mean, we don't extremely need them, but what it is what it is. We're tied to each other. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Come on, you stupid thing. I hate it. I try to copy and paste, and sometimes things act weird. All right, we're gonna take a look. That's a good. I'm glad you asked that. We'll take a look.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have Canada's economic heat map, which looks horrendous. So as bad as the dollar looks, as bad as ours looks, theirs is pretty bad too. They had
Yeah.
one piece of good news on their manufacturing PMI. So just like we had, only ours was on September 4th. It was 2 days prior. So they had a good number.
Of course.
Now they had a bullish number, but they're still in contraction territory because they're under 50. Other than that, the only other good piece of news they had was the PPI, which was 6 days before my birthday. So that's been a while. Yeah, as you see, everything else has missed expectations on their employment numbers, most of their inflation numbers, their sales. I mean, that's just hideous.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is one that's actually worse, and that is Swiss franc. So they're crap. Let me pull this up. Yeah, just looking at their economic heat map. Get this pulled up. Hey, here's the Swiss franc. Their stuff is
Wow. Yeah.
just September. They had so most of these countries had good manufacturing numbers, but theirs is also in contraction territory despite their bullish surprise score. Still in contraction territory, but September 5th. Well, that's it. That's the only one they had. At least Canada had two good reports, but the Swiss franc, they just had the one. So we talked about, and that's why they're only at 17%. Their stock market's not doing well.
Wow.
They're obviously the currency.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just for the context, we got the dollar report hiding over here somewhere. Yeah, here's the dollar. Yeah. So with us, we got three good reports, but a lot more neutral, but just horrendous jobs numbers, inflation numbers, just not getting any good news. But yeah, at least we have good growth numbers. At least we've had the services PMI. We're in expansion territory. That was a really good expansionary score for the services sector. And retail sales and the GDP number we had back the day after my birthday, August 28th.
Mm-hmm.
But 33%. It's not great, but it's a lot better than Canada and the Swissy. Right?
Of course. Yeah. I could name a couple other currencies that probably do look better.
Race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And then as far as the top one, it goes to the Aussie dollar. So they've actually done pretty good. A lot of blue on their end. Here's right. So here's Australia. A lot of blue. So not the greatest inflation numbers, but that's a double-edged sword because it's good for their stock market. Well, 100% exceeded expectations on their stocks. Well, except and then you just had the one neutral report for unemployment, but it wasn't bad. So that right there is why. That's why my top setups has all the Aussie pairs on there for buys. So just looking pretty good. It's so good to
Wow.
have it simplified to where you can see all these reports and just see it on a one pager and plug
Yeah,
it
I
all
know,
into
and that's
your.
really where, I mean, you want to understand what the heck the actual driving force behind the movement is.
That's an old
And if you can see it just in a report first, take a glance, and there's no need to even look into the charts, look for levels, look for any of that. That's awesome.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that style.
Yeah, because well, that's the thing. Like I used to just be a technical only trader. I mean, I used to be
Yeah.
aware of Forex Factory, and I would obviously go and say, "Oh, we
Hmm.
got interest rates coming out today. I better be careful," or "We got
Yeah.
the jobs numbers coming out tomorrow. I better be careful around that time." But with each passing
Hmm.
day, I would always forget about the report. I just paid attention to the day before, and I'd put all my stock, all my emphasis into that next report, the next report, the next report.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
if like right now, you got with the Aussie, with everything looking so good. You know, if we had a bad report come out for the Aussie tomorrow, well, I'd be all about, oh, I better sell this market. It's horrible. Aussie dollar's going to hell, right? Well, no, because I got to look at it in the context of all the other stuff. Like if it's just one little
Yeah.
blip,
Yeah.
just like the CPI, the PPI, is that blip, right? But overall, the Aussie is just looking great, and everything's appreciating, or it's appreciating, relative to the other currencies. So that's where I got myself in trouble, was just putting too much stock into the latest report, thinking that was the end all be all.
Yeah. 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 I hear you. No, I know. You got to take it all, and you got to take a step back, look at it holistically, right? Just to
Right.
let everyone
And
know that you can take a breather.
yeah, and also because I am such a higher time frame trader. I mean, I think it's even more
Sure.
important,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I have no choice. I have to look at everything as a collective whole because while the scalpers, the 1 minutes, the 5 minute traders, they care more about what's in front of them. They're
Yeah.
not too worried
Yeah.
about, you guys aren't too worried about all this stuff, but it's just definitely, I mean, you want to be aware of it, but I'm just saying that you guys are looking for liquidity and you're looking for
Sure. Yeah.
the deltas and this and that,
Technical
right? All the
confluence.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just a little bit different world on the higher time frames. And that's just where I'm comfortable. I mean, I was excited today to trail stop gold for an hour and a half, acting like a scout. Like, yeah, that's exciting. I get the old adrenaline rolling. Like, oh, there's a new high. Oh, I can move my
Yeah.
stop loss up.
Yeah.
So I think I would do
Yeah.
just fine. Like they asked us the question today, Tony. Somebody asked the question in the chat. Hey, coaches, what do you think would be who do you think would do better if you Forex traders were to go start trading futures, or if the futures traders tried to trade Forex? Like who would do the best? Who
Oh,
would win?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a good question.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good question for your stream tomorrow, to see what the rest
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
guys think.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be sure to
But
raise the question.
yeah, and maybe that could be a
Uh,
future trading competition of some sorts. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that they could make our own competition for that just to see
Yeah,
who gets bragging rights.
yeah, yeah. That would be
That I would
great
love to
because,
be a
like
part of
me
that
and
one for sure.
yeah, because like Coach. Well, I mean, I'm more of the 4 hour trader. Coach Michael is the 1 hour trader typically.
Sure. Yeah.
Richard, he's kind of a little bit of both. So,
Uh-huh.
and then yeah, you guys. I mean, I know you guys keep the higher time frames in mind as far as targets and things of that nature. But I mean,
Oh,
obviously, you
100%.
primarily are
Yeah.
down on the 1 minute, the 5 minutes. So it's a great,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it's a great question. So we might have to play around with that back in, write that down. Let's see what kind of future Forex crossover competition we could
Yeah.
come up with. It'd be kind of fun. That'd be fun. So,
Let's see. Let's
but
see.
yeah, I don't know. There's quite a few different angles on figuring that one out.
No, 100%. I know. I know. Yeah. Whose team? Is it Team Bull today or is it Team Bear today? Let's see it in the chat. I think
Yeah.
we're the only ones in the chat there, Tiger.
Oh yeah.
Team bull, team bear. I was actually bearish going into today, at least on like the Nasdaq. I thought
Yeah.
actually I was bearish yesterday as well, like thinking that we're just gonna get a dump, a little bit of a dump, kind of consolidate around, and then Jerome Powell will come in and save the market. Daddy will come save us. And nah, I mean we didn't really get it. Like no one really cared, right? And again, like we were talking about before, like it was baked in. I guess. I guess it was just already baked
Yeah.
in. Like I really did think that I didn't think that he was going to cut. Honestly, did you have any sort of bias yourself?
I mean, I felt like it was the 25, but I would not have been surprised if he'd have
Yeah.
done 50. I didn't think he had a shot in hell to not to keep it neutral. But
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just
Yeah.
feel like whether he wants to admit it or not, I don't know, man. I know that they stay separate of the politics, but part of me was wondering if he was gonna cave right to the pressures he's been getting. So I didn't think because of
Sure.
that, I didn't think there was a shot in hell that he was going to leave it unchanged. But yeah, I feel like I felt like the 25 was right, but I would not have been surprised if it had been 50 because you hear President Trump saying he
Sure.
needs to drop it a full point. Right? It just kept going higher and higher.
Yeah. 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 I know. I mean, that
Um,
was the thing, right? He's getting political pressure. So I mean, it is what it is.
you know,
It's just how it goes, I guess. Yeah, yeah.
this
I
is a
mean, yeah. Well, if you look at the Fed Watch tool, of course, like that's always the go-to for pretty much every single person that follows Wall Street. So,
yeah.
whatever the Fed Watch
Okay.
tool is saying, I mean, I guess that's what people were going with, and they were saying like, yeah, 25 basis point cut, and we got it again. We got it. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
can't really do
and
much else
here's
about it.
just yeah, exactly. This is just kind of a look at all the indices that I track. I mean, they're most of them are neutral again, but yeah, Dow
Yeah.
is a 5, Nasdaq a 4, Russell a 3, and then the S&P is perfectly neutral at a 0. So
Yeah.
yeah, you see the common theme of the seasonality being not the greatest for the indices, but obviously the
Hmm.
trends are up. GDP reports helped everything. PMI, the retail sales, CPI, PPI, all that's and interest rates. So all that's been benefiting the indices, but yeah, it's these pesky employment numbers that haven't been helping very much. The employment change, the manufacturing PMIs, of course, seasonality. So
Yeah.
just kind of a mixed
Yeah.
bag. But hey, look, like I said, these were all around 0, 1, -1 for about the last three or 4 weeks. But we're finally starting to get at least a couple signs of life for these indices as far as some, a bit of longer term type trades. Even though it's been going up as it is, right? That's just now the fundamentals are
Yeah.
seemingly trying to catch up with the trend, the reality.
I know. Why do you think the unemployment or sorry, excuse me, the employment picture is deteriorating? You think it's because of the tariffs here?
Well, the supply and demand of, I mean, obviously less. Well, if you listen to Powell now, for what it's worth, or if you want to trust it or believe it or not, but he makes it sound like it's
Mm-hmm.
because obviously much less immigration coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's part of the reason that it's affecting the employment because you're not getting that steady supply of foreign employment, but that also has
Yeah.
an effect on the demand as well. Okay, less immigration, so there's less people here to have to require that as well. So kind of a
Yeah.
it's a it's a it's a balance because he made the point that normally one or the other is off, the supply side of it or the demand side of it, but in this case it's equilibrium, but it's because you got less people coming
Mm-hmm.
in and then less people requiring the demand, so less supply and less demand. um,
Sure.
so that's, I mean, it makes sense, but that's about as deep as I go. I'm not, because I don't really yeah, I'm not really the economist digging into the details like that. That's about the extent I go. I mean, it makes sense. it made sense to me because he started talking supply and demand. So he started talking my language. So,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
but that's what it could be. Very well could be.
Yeah, I
But
know,
yeah,
I
as
know. And
far as
of course, I
tariffs,
mean, there's two sides of it, right? I mean, there is the supply side and then there's the demand side that everyone always seems to forget is that like, these companies are only going to hire if they need to hire. So
yeah.
it's just one of those things. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if it's, the tariffs and companies are starting to, kind of tighten their belts because they need to absorb obviously some of these tariff costs, at least some of these tariff costs. I was actually talking to an equities guy today and we were kind of going through it. Like, listen, like quarter over quarter EPS, so earnings are rising, revenues are rising, um, margins, there's no margin contraction, it seems. So I guess some of the costs are being passed on to the consumer if a company itself is experiencing some tariff headwinds. So the
Mhm.
companies are in a good spot. They're in a pretty good
Yeah.
spot, it seems. So
Yeah. He made it sound
yeah,
like the
there's no
tariffs
real
were
slowdown
affecting.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made it sound like the tariffs were affecting it, but not as much as they thought it
Hmm.
was going to. So, like,
Hmm.
not as much as they had
Hmm.
projected as far as the whole consumer eating the costs. Yeah. He kind of, again, for what it's worth, dang, my light's about to fall off. So they just got to trust the system.
Yeah.
Trust the
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really impressed. All in all.
No, I wasn't either. When I woke up,
Um,
I'm like, is it going to be 25? Is it going to be 50? Is everything going crazy? And then I look, I'm like, oh, that's it. Exactly what I put in my news piece. That was it.
yeah. I know it happened.
We spent,
We all thought it was going to
we,
happen, and hey, it happened.
we, yeah, because I mean, I even heard you talking on one of your streams about I'm going to say this a
Yeah,
100 times. Don't blow your accounts or don't get into trades or whatever. And yeah, I mean, I was repeating the same things.
yeah,
And then now
yeah.
we got to come back, kind of the walk of shame, and be like, oh, well, wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. Nothing to see here.
I
Nothing.
know. Well, no, I mean, that's the thing. I'm sure that there are people out there that still, manage to blow their
Yeah.
account or just seem to chop because they think this is it. This is it. We're gonna have a
Yeah.
huge move before, hours before. This is like 3 hours before the release, and everyone's like building up pressure. Like, hey, like short guys, get long. It's just,
But
no
we
one
still did
really
our job
knows. No one
because
really knows.
all we were trying to do was
Hmm.
just warn people that, hey, things could get quite fishy and dicey out there. So it's just best. So best to
Yeah.
be careful and stay out of it. So we did our job. It's up to them
Yes,
to listen.
100%. We can cover our backs.
That's right. All right. Aussie dollar. Yeah, that jobs number we had last week where we had the 263,000 over 230 forecast was just a freaking
Mm.
crazy number. So it created a wick like this on most of the currency pairs, which is kind of annoying. I've been kind of blabbering about it for the last week. Like, damn it. It put all these ugly wicks on all these major pairs, but there's pretty nice
Yeah.
smaller time frame zones just ahead of it before that big spike up. But I'm afraid to get it. Not afraid, but it just makes me question getting into them. Like, okay, do I need to put my demand or my stop loss obviously a few pips below, or do I need to put it clear below the actual wick? Now this wick doesn't look as bad as it does on some of them, but it's just like a pain in the butt. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, this one made sense why it flew so high, against the dollar because obviously we were. I think I showed that chart. Yeah, I showed that chart the other day, but it was the highest we'd had in quite a few years. Let me go pull that up again since we're here. Let's see. Was that the jobs opening? No, that was the. Which one of my reports was it? Wage, job, unemployment. Too many reports. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the unemployment claims. Duh. Yeah, I
Hmm.
thought this was I thought this chart was just, and this is exactly why we got the wick on all those. So let me pull this up real quick. Yeah, so unemployment. So, I mean, we just had that 263,000 number. I mean, that's just a shocker of a number related to, you had this nice steady 225, 250 number each time, and then bam, it ended up making a high, a multi-year high on that wick. So when that miss came out, it's like, oh my gosh. Now they're, of course, betting the 220, what was it, 230,000, I think it was. Wednesday, September the 19th.
Probably 240.
18. 240, yeah, okay.
240 estimate?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right there, duh. So, but anyway, yeah, I just thought that was crazy. I mean, that was just a huge, I mean, visually, because you can chart everything, right? Just visually, it looked horrible.
Yeah.
And it showed by all the
way.
wicks.
I know. It's like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah. Yep. New Zealand dollar. Got an alert down here. Yep, just a little bit of ways from a lot of these alerts. Euro CAD. Kind of close on this one.
I know. That one looks good, actually. Huh.
Yeah. Got an alert on it, so definitely be probably taking a little stabby at this, assuming my fundamentals are still in order. Yeah, because this list is so dynamic that, obviously I'll put on my alerts when I see it go on to the bullish or bearish side, but
sure.
the whenever I do get these alerts, because I mean, obviously some of them are days old, so by the time the alerts hit, well, maybe a report or two came out and knocked it down to neutral. So I always cross-check it with my list just to verify it's still giving me a bullish signal. So and then right now, as I say that, looks like Euro CAD actually fell to neutral. So, but I'm gonna leave it there because Euro CAD. Okay, so it's a plus. So it's a +4. So it's pretty close. I mean, it's close enough. But I do like the technical look to it anyway.
Yeah,
a little bit of confluence.
100%.
15 inside of a 1 hour. Pretty little bit of a gap coming out. Yep, keep an eye on that. +4 is better than -4 at the end of the day.
Pluses and minuses. That's what everything amounts to. Yeah, I wonder. So you're planning on, so that support is going to break and then become resistance, I assume?
You talking about this?
Just that white line that you had on there before?
Oh, that was something I was just looking at on a smaller time frame way back here. I just never
some sort of trend line or something. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
I was looking at it back here on a smaller time frame. Back on Monday, it looks like. But it's nothing I'm looking at now. I don't know. I got to get that out of my way. No, just a simple bust into this. Now that's pretty wide. Now this is a nice wide range right here. This is what I like to see. If I'm trading a higher time frame, I want to see something that's not puny. Give me at least 20, 30 pips of range, something to play with. Set and forget.
Something to keep Tiger engaged with.
Right. That is right. Euro CAD. Okay, CAD Swiss is another one that was bearish. CAD Swiss. Yeah, -5. Yeah, here we go. So, I got a daily supply with a smaller time frame supply up in here, a 1 hour supply. So I actually really like this zone. So let me turn that off. Yeah. So we had the daily, but then we had that 1 hour with a ginormous volume drop. Hell yeah. This big giant gap coming out of it. That's actually one of my favorite. Yeah, the CAD Swiss actually has one of my favorite setups. Big fair value gap right there. I mean, that's just sexy as it gets.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's good.
Got to play that continuation after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I put 2 setups. So obviously there's the higher probability one. And then I also drilled down and found 15-minute, I believe, right here. Now this is where I'm trying to. So it's obviously a 15-minute supply. So I do want to keep an eye on that one as well. That was the Jerome Powell speech, I think. I can't remember what that was. It was one of his speeches. But anyway, so this is where I've been trying to focus more on the origin of the move itself, because while that is a supply area, right, the origin of the move is up here. So I'm trying to. This is where I think I made the analogy that I was like a baby scorpion that didn't know how to control its stinger. I was going for every supply and demand zone it hit, price would hit.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting for the higher probability one or the stronger one. So
sure.
Yeah. So this was a classic. This is where I explained, this right here is me tiptoeing in the pool because it's April, the water's not quite warm enough, so you just want to tiptoe into the pool, right? And then this one up here it's the middle of July, it's summer, it's hot, so I'm going to cannonball into the trade, right? So tiptoe meaning you're going to have to prove yourself. Trust but verify. So give me that bearish engulfing candle. Give me that 3x, 4x volume candle at the bottom. Give me a wick on top. One of the three. Or two of the three.
Make my day.
So that's what I mean by exactly. But you got all this choppy crap here. All these people that are short and they're putting their liquidity, their stop losses up top. So I like that. Because you're going to have all these stops here are going to be buy orders, obviously, which the banks need buy orders to fuel their sell orders and catch the remaining unfilled order potential here and short it. So that's one thing that this zone does have going for it that I like. I mean, I do like that, the potential liquidity for all these losses up here. So that was the only reason I think that was the only reason I drew that. If that would have just been a straight down move, probably would have avoided it. But since price did that, created potential liquidity, stopped liquidity hunts, all this fun stuff, that's why I drew that up there. And then finally, New Zealand CAD. I think that's the last one on my list. Yeah. Okay, so I have New Zealand CAD. It's down to a neutral too, but still just looking at it on technical aspect. Yeah, we do have. I got too much crap on here. Okay, so it looks like we finally busted through this higher time frame supply. So that now shows me we have strength. So enough strength down in this area because it did bust through this. I think it was a weekly. Yeah, not the greatest, but it was a weekly demand, weekly supply. I turned my order block too long. Yeah. That candle there, a little bit of a weekly supply with a gap. Not the greatest, but by definition, was a zone. So now we know this area here was strong enough to take it out. I'm going to get that out of my way now. Get that over here. And then we just look down and find a zone. Latch onto it. Gap there. Got demand in this area. Yep, so this is actually where I'm looking on this one. 30-minute demand. Awesome volume coming out of it. Big fair value gap. So this is actually where I got my alert set. 0.8113. Really strong looking technical trade. I mean, the fundamentals aren't necessarily in my favor for it, but I really like the technicals. The previous technical only Tiger side of it says trade this sucker. At least it's a plus 2. Plus 2 is better than -2, right? I start justifying these things in my head.
This is what goes through, yeah.
It's a crazy place. Yeah. So that's it. That's basically what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I know. And like you said, it's one of those things where it's just like, what will the week bring? Who knows? Or the rest of the week, the rest of the week bring. Because, things right now are just looking like so hairy and or ridiculous.
Yep.
It's just one of those things. We got to make sure that it'll all just shake out, and then we'll get back to it,
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
Let's see here.
CAD
Let's
yen short,
see.
Aussie New Zealand long. That'll be my Thursday right there. See if I can get one of those
Yeah,
two
yeah.
suckers to
See
fall.
that Aussie New Zealand long. I would already get long. I would already get long if it was me and I
Yeah.
was watching it play out. Say it was like a 1 minute chart or something. I'd be like, yep, get in there, get in there. At least one or two
Yeah.
contracts, then maybe it comes back into that demand area. Two more, stop loss. Your stop loss seems pretty good. Like if it
Mm-hmm.
goes all the way back down there, then it's like it's just not gonna work out in your favor. But it is what it
Yeah.
is
Let me
here.
see. Yeah. So I do have a pending limit here on my other one. So definitely gonna give it a whirl.
Yeah,
Pending limit. Pending limit.
nice.
Yep. So one way or another. Yeah, this one's going to be it. Yeah, I got my order right on the proximal line, right there.
Finger
And
on the
it's coming
trigger,
down like it
honestly.
wants to. Coming down like it wants to tag me in. So. And then obviously I got my stop to, like I said, to take the whole zone as a higher time frame. 10 minute. It's funny for me to say higher time frame 10-minute, coming from the land of 4-hour time frames.
I know. Let's see. What else do we got? Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's quiet markets, and it for sure is quiet markets for me. I mean, I really
Yeah.
got nothing that I'm, really looking at per se. NASDAQ is how far away? All-time highs 24,646. We're currently at 24,012. So I mean, what, 35 points away here? Maybe we'll blow through it overnight. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Time will
You're not
tell.
that far at all.
Time will tell.
Well, we'll see what the unemployment claims has to say about that.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That'll be, of course, the next thing that's just like so utterly important that no one saw coming is these unemployment claims. Even though they're expected to be higher, is the market going to totally freak out and be like, oh my God? But I mean, hey, if it's higher unemployment claims, then doesn't that mean that they're going to cut again? So come on. Let's keep the party going.
Well, they got 241,000 forecast against the current 263. Yeah. Do they do the revisions on those two? Day of?
It's usually, well, they usually do the prior month, right? When they release the current month.
I just didn't know if they did it week to week. I guess I need.
Oh. No, yeah, no, I'm not sure.
Not.
I don't think it's on the weekly. I think it's on the monthly.
That's probably too much work for them.
Honestly, that's a pretty good thought because you'd be surprised. I've actually heard from guys and they're like, yeah, to compile these types of reports, like you'd be so surprised, like the delta of error that comes with these reports. It's like so ridiculous sometimes, Yeah. Like why even publish it if you're going to be up or down 10%? It's like, so these numbers you can't really go off of. So it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. That's, well, I guess now that what I say, the Dow's on my list, I guess I'll have to find a spot here, see if we can get anything in the future. We got this riding this trend up. Let's see what these smaller time frames have. Gosh, just all the wicks are. Yeah, let's see. You can't find a demand zone in there. It's just way too horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to look at something really small and ridiculous like a $10 range like that, but no thanks. I need something that's got some muscle to it.
I was gonna say it's not for you, huh?
No, no, no. I mean, I just need more information. I need more price action. I need some other zones to form and push price up so I can retrace. Yeah, daily. See, that was a daily zone, but it's already been hit and bounced. That was not really much of a gap there. I probably wouldn't have claimed that. If we can stay closed up here, then this will turn into a daily. This red candle here. As long as we don't have the candle come back and touch before 4 p.m. Central tomorrow. So if we can get price to stay up here, then yeah, that'll definitely be a daily. Now we just got to look, see what we got on a smaller time frame. 4 hour. Oh yeah, I forgot. That ugly wick is going to just mess everything up. Yep. Yep. That wick ain't going to
There's always
let
one
us
in
have
a bunch.
Yeah, I'm going to delete that. Yeah, that wick ain't going to give us anything. I don't think. Unless I want to look at a couple 1 minute zones, right? This is the very bottom. I mean, this is the origin of the move. So obviously gap here. Let's see, efficient market. So all this is efficient. We got a gap here. Obviously there's some inefficiency there, but obviously this is the one that's closest to the origin of the move. So that's where I would be more interested in, but will it come down and hit this one and run off and leave the other one, right?
Yeah. So that's always how it goes here.
Just for kicks, it will be interesting to see what happens if we can get price to come down to that area. All right. I guess I'll pay attention to those two little zones the rest of the week.
I was gonna say you already have so many alerts though. I mean, how many alerts can you get before you upgrade again?
Well, so it's funny you asked because 3 weeks ago I upgraded because I did only have 20, I think it was, or maybe it was 15, and I kept using them. But I upgraded my package and now I got 100. So
nice. There you go.
Yeah, I'm a little okay now awesome. Using a few more alerts. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. God. It's just now your only problem is going to be that you don't have enough time and bandwidth to trade them all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and over the weekend I always go and flush out the old ones anyway. I mean, you saw me reset those ones from today, but yeah, that's usually the first thing I do on Sundays when I finally start paying attention to the market again. Saturday I take off. I don't usually hop on outside of just seeing if Bitcoin is around any crazy zones. But other than that, yeah, Saturday's my pull day. That's what I'm going to be doing again this Saturday. Pool and hot tub with some friends.
Absolutely.
And reset the old brain piece. And then Sunday comes around, delete the old alerts, set some new ones, look at the COT report, see where the top setups are. And
I was going to say, you have you got a hot tub at your place, or how does that work?
Yeah. So I live in an apartment complex, and we have a super nice pool. It's like, it's really nice. It's like resort style pool, and we have a hot tub as well. It's all outdoors. The hot tub is the biggest hot tub I've ever seen. It's it's probably 15-foot diameter. It's big, so you can comfortably sit about 30 plus people inside of it.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's freaking awesome. Honestly, it's it's tough to find any sort of amenities out here in Boston. Like, oh my God, the infrastructure is just so old. And even some of like the newer buildings, like they were still built in 2005, 2008, all that type of stuff. And then you have like these ultra luxury places that are just sitting empty. Like it's so ridiculous. These apartments
Yeah.
that are $20,000 a month for rent, and that's on like just that's like average. But like the whole building sits empty. I don't even know what the occupancy rate is. I'm sure it's higher than what I think. But
Wow.
still, it's just like, yeah, it's so hard to find like a place to just go out and relax. I was talking to a couple of people that I hang out with, and I'm like, dude, I need a freaking vacation here. Like it's the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't take. I don't know. We went out to the beach, rented a beach house, a couple weekends, and that was pretty much it. I want to say it was like 3 weekends.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I did for the summer. And like, but I'm like, I gotta go get away. Maybe we'll go down to
Yeah.
Orlando, visit Coach Paul,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
pay him a visit, see how he lives.
Yeah. Yeah. We on Forex Fire been kind of saying the same thing. Well, as far as invading Mexico, where Coach Michael's at, because obviously
Oh,
that sounds like
100%. Yeah.
the obvious place to go because
Yeah,
he lives on the
that's the
beach.
party place. Yeah.
Playa del Carmen.
He's like he told me, he's like, yeah, you come down here. He's like, I got it all figured out. He's like, you don't gotta do nothing. And I'm like, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
it's hard
sounds like the
to
life,
pass.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
think
for
it's been
sure.
3 years now, something like that. And I lived in Mexico and I
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
it. So, and I
Did
went to
you?
the beach.
Did you do that during COVID?
Yeah. No, it was
Wow.
2013. Yeah, I was there 2013. I was in Mexico City though. So
Yeah.
my wife at the time was from Puebla, which is 2 hours south. It's a state just south of the
Yeah.
federal district there, Distrito
Yeah.
Federal. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you kind of have to drive. Going by autobus, it was 2 hour ride. You have to go between the valley of the most active volcanoes in the country.
Oh my
That is
gosh. Uh-huh.
Popocatépetl volcano, and then
That's awesome.
Isahuacoil or something like that. Yeah, it's crazy names,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
to go up
yeah,
and through the valley, and then when you come over the valley, because you're in the valley, but you're still having to go way up the hill, obviously.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you come over the valley, and all you see is just a big, gigantic bowl, and that's obviously Mexico City with all the lights and
yeah,
the
yeah,
haze. You can see it forever. It's just the most breathtaking view I've ever seen as far as going from the valley of a volcano to seeing the city limits and the city lights. Of course, Mexico City, I think, is
yeah,
still
yeah.
around number 5 largest city in the world or something like that. Used to be the most
Wow, wow.
populous city. I think it's still
Yeah,
5. It's like
yeah.
21, 22 million people, something crazy number like
Wow.
that. But no, I lived there. I lived there for about 6 months in the west side of the city, and just absolutely loved it. Had a teacher that came
Yeah,
every day for 4 hours to teach Spanish, so got pretty good at the language
that's
there.
awesome.
Yeah, 4 hours
Yeah, that's
every day
awesome.
for like 4 months. No, it was a good time.
I was gonna say you
Awesome
must be
food,
like
awesome.
almost fluent at that point. Like you can easily go out to a
Yeah.
restaurant, right?
Oh yeah, I could order all my own goodies, edit things, this and that. But I learned. I just have to still build vocabulary. I was just telling Michael this the other day. I'm like, yeah, it's been a while since I've actually studied it, but I know how to conjugate verbs for the future tense, for present tense. But I left to come back to the States about the time where we were getting ready to study past tense. So I need to learn past tense,
Oh, okay.
how to
Yeah,
conjugate
yeah, yeah,
past
yeah.
tense, and then obviously just build vocabulary. But no, I could survive in Mexico on my own, but probably not prosper just yet.
Yeah,
Could
I know.
definitely.
You still have to be in your little apartment, learning everything, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was. I recommend any and everybody to go if you ever get a chance to go just live abroad for even just for a few months. Go do it.
Hmm.
It will change your perspective on your
Yep.
own country. And I came
Yep.
back to the States more appreciative of what we have, just because of
Oh, of course.
you seeing the lack of what they have on this area, that
Yep.
area.
Yep.
So,
No, I know.
no,
It's the
good
same
stuff.
thing over here. It's always like you come back and you're like, yeah, I mean, for all the faults that every country has, you're still just like, we live in the best country here.
Yeah, yeah, we really do. I mean, we really do.
100%.
So
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good place to leave it.
yeah. Yeah.
We hit
Yeah, that
time.
was about the quiet as it gets. Just no setups. I mean, there's an oil setup. This is the only thing that potentially set up, but I'm basically waiting for a little bit deeper retracement on it, and just not really getting the volume. Everybody's just kind of scared. I think everybody's waiting for the price action. Like I said earlier, get a day out of the way,
Yep.
pick a trend, and ride on. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, 100%.
But it was good discussions.
100%.
Really good discussions. So,
Yeah, absolutely. There always is.
all right, brother. Well, I appreciate your time.
Awesome.
Back in. Thanks a lot. And I'll be back on in 5 hours for Forex Fire. And we'll see if we have any trends and see if some of these setups I got can latch on. So, to everybody, thanks a lot, Coach Tony. Peace. Have a great night, brother. All right, brother.
Yep, sounds good.
All right.
Hola Prime. Trade with transparency.